Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 9 of our Salesforce training. We're covering sales and marketing application, part 3. This is the third part for this section. It's quite lengthy, as you can see, but again, that's because I'm going into details of certain things which I expect us to know. But as an admin, you just need to be aware of these objects, and you need to understand a little bit of what they can do. But if you're a consultant, you need to go in depth into this object and see what features they have. Okay. So again, this is a curriculum according to Salesforce, and this is a bullet point specifically for the part 3. Okay. So as you can see, we have a lot of items we need to kind of like go over, but I would just touch bits on this bullet points, then we can probably independently read on these bullet points, okay? So without wasting much time, I'm going to go into the Trailhead, and I'm going to log in into my Trailhead using my Gmail account. So like I mentioned the last time, we have different objects that are used for sales and marketing, okay? So depending on the app you switch into, you get to see all those objects. Some of them might not come out of the box. Some of them might requires you to enable them in the backend before you can see them, but we have those objects there. So one of the objects which we're going to focus on today is opportunities. Opportunities are ways, objects used to sell items in using Salesforce, okay? When it comes to selling items or selling a package, a deal, then you use opportunities. So just like we have in leads is where you start prospective customers. Opportunities is where you package things together. So let's say I want to sell maybe an idea to a VC, or I want to sell a package like a micro technology solutions to an enterprise. Opportunity is where I create that package. Okay. So for instance, this guy is trying to sell Burlington Textiles Weaver plant generator. It's just an opportunity, right? And once you create the details of opportunity, for instance, if you go to new and you create all these details, you can go through the same process as we have for leads. Okay. So opportunities, just like leads, has this part. And if you want to find out how to configure this part, you go to the backend and you go to sales processes. Remember the last time we talked about lead processes, but now we're talking about sale processes. Okay. So it's sales processes. If you want to find out all the processes in the system, you can look for processes in the quick find, and you can see we have the lead processes, which is under marketing. We have the sales processes, which is under sales. We have support processes, which is under service. And we also have approval processes, but it's under automation. It's not really part of the main ones, but the main ones are the lead process, the sales process, and the support processes. Okay. So now for opportunities, this part is enabled, or it's initiated based on the sales processes. Okay. Just like we have for lead, we can also create sales processes for opportunities. And remember, sales processes is just a way to streamline how you would sell to different organization or different company based on the criteria set. For instance, if you're selling for an enterprise, you might want to follow a different process. If you're selling for a small business, you might want to follow a different process. And the sales process just enables that. It makes it easier for you to create that different processes. Okay. So now we have, let's say I want to sell to premium customers, right? Premium customers. I'm going to create a sales process for premium customers, and I'm going to select the fields that are needed for premium customers. Okay. So for instance, I can just take off all these fields. Okay. You have to think critically before you start taking things off, because at the end of the day, there is a rationale behind putting those fields there. So if you want to take it off, you just have to think properly and find out standard customers. So I'm creating a sales process for standard customers and premium customers. And I'm just kind of like differentiating those pick lists that appears in the sales, in the process. So what are these pick lists? Why am I taking them off? If you go back to this screen, you will see the life cycle here. The pick list I'm taking off or I'm adding is based on the part here. So if you go to details, you will see what they call the stage. So it's been driven by the stage. Okay. So the stage determines the parts and the sales process. Although you can also use record type to determine all this drop down as previously explained. So when you create a record type, you can use record type, you associate it to a sales process. How do you do that? Again, you just go to the opportunity object and you create a record type under the opportunity object. And the same way you've done for process, you can follow similar pattern. For instance, premium customers. But again, you don't have to use the same name, but I'm just using the same name so I don't get to forget. Premium customers. So typically you just have to enable it for the profile you're interested in. For instance, if you have accounting department, and you know the accounting department will never be selling anything in the system, you don't need to make it available for the accounting department. So when you're creating anything in Salesforce, always select the least privilege, okay? The least privilege before exposing it to everyone. If you expose it to everyone, it's going to be very hard to undo. Although it's just the same process, but it can be very hard to undo. But if you expose it to the least privilege, if you make it the least privilege, okay, the only people I want to give it to is the system admin and the sales department. That's it. So it becomes easier for you to undo this in case there is an issue in future. Okay. So that just adds up for you guys. Whenever you're creating anything in Salesforce, don't just click. Always pay attention to what Salesforce is saying. Read it and try to understand it. Okay. So now that we've created a record type for premium customers, I'm going to create a record type for standard customers. Okay. Again, we've done this before several times. I'm just going over it again because it's part of the requirement for opportunities. Again, I'm just going to select system admin. I'm going to select nest. I'm going to select the page layout and I'm going to say save. So now that we have this in place, whenever we go to our process, remember, whenever we select different record types, the process will kick in, as well as whatever we want to hide from all these pick lists. As you can see, the record type controls the pick list. So if I want to hide certain things from this, I can easily do that. Again, I can just take off new customers under standard, okay? But the premium will have new customers. So now if I go to create a new opportunity in the system will ask me, do I want to create new opportunity for premium customers or I want to create new opportunities for standard customers? This is the record type we created. After selecting premium customers, then we can fill all those items in the system, okay? Then you can see that the options would be different for premium customer. And if you can tell, we have everything, including new customer, okay? And I can select new customer in premium customer, I save, and I go back to create another opportunity for standard customer. The option will be different, okay? As you can see, I see a lot of options, and in the type, I cannot see the new customer, okay? So that's the benefit of the record type, and the record which you're creating is associated to the sales process because you have created standard sales process, and based on your selection and your association of this record type to that process, you automatically enable that process. It says sales process is premium customer. So it's going to be following the sales process path. And the other one is standard customer. It's going to be following the standard customer path. And how do you know what paths they are? You go to premium customer, you see the difference. You go to standard customer and you see the difference. Okay. So that's how you work with sales paths in opportunities. Okay. So now let's go into more details of what opportunities are and what type of features can we see in opportunities. So we have what they call close date. So close date is when the opportunity is closed. You know, when you're selling something, the first thing is you look for people that will buy it, right? After that, you now check if they are qualified to buy this opportunity you're selling to them. Once you check if they are qualified to buy the opportunities, then you go through different process, value proposition, decision maker meeting, perception analysis, until you close. When you close, you have two options. Remember this. When you close, you have two options. You can either close won or close lost, meaning that you won this deal, meaning you've sold it to the client, they bought it, or you did not, then you select close lost, okay? So remember this. This is used for a lot of analysis, and I'm going to get into that shortly. But now let's go into stage. I explained to you earlier, the stage is what determines this part, okay? The stage is what determines this part. So if I go back to opportunity objects and I go to fields and relationships, I go to stage. As you can see, all the stages are present in my options here, okay? Besides the fact that some has a different record type and a different sales process. Other than that, all the stages are present there. However, there is one thing in the stage. You have what they call the type. So a stage can either be open, close won, or lost, or you can have other options as well. Close won, close lost. After this option, you can have forecast category. So what is forecast category? Forecast category is just a technical way to determine the likelihood of this opportunity getting close won or maybe close lost. So the forecast category determines whether this is just in a pipeline. Okay, we're still thinking whether this would be successful, or best case, or the customer has committed. That means they're willing to go ahead with this opportunity. And obviously you have closed. Closed, like I said, you have two options when you close. You have close won or close lost. But remember, depending on what you select, you have that changes to the forecast category. So you cannot be in close won and have pipeline. You cannot be in close lost and have pipeline because it's already completed, right? So the pipeline is just like the initial stage is still ongoing and stuff like that. So when you're thinking about opportunity stages, always think about that because it will help you determine the expected revenue. So expected revenue is tied down to your stage, and your stage is tied down to your probability. So you can actually set all these values, but Salesforce has them by default, meaning that if the stage is prospecting, then the probability of closing this sale is 10%. If the stage has moved to decision makers' decks, the probability of closing this is 60%. If the sales has moved to negotiation and review, obviously, the probability of closing this is 90%. So what is the impact, the influence of probability? The influence of probability on this opportunity is it determines the expected revenue. So why do we need to know the expected revenue? Technically, you don't need it. Your bottom line is you need to sell. If you don't sell, expected revenue is just like an arbitrary number for you. However, this is what Salesforce use for forecasting. So what is forecasting in Salesforce? Or what is forecasting when it comes to opportunities? Forecasting is just an English word that says, okay, I want to see or I want to predict what we are going to have by the first quarter in the new year. I want to see what we're going to have in the next month. So what you have in opportunities will now be aggregated, okay, based on a monthly forecast, quarterly forecast, yearly forecast, and the likes. So you can now actually predict how good or how well your business is doing based on the opportunities you have in the system. This is actually a very good object for those that actually want to go into sales and marketing for sales within Salesforce. So you need to learn all these features and you need to know how to use it. So again, the forecast needs to be enabled. You go to Home and you type in forecast. So go to forecast settings. When you go to forecast settings, you have to enable forecast, okay? Then you can now read through what forecast is saying. There's so many things you need to read, but you need to understand it, okay? If you don't understand what it's saying, then you might not probably select the right thing. But again, enable manager adjustments is just a plain stuff, right? Enable owner adjustments, meaning that owner can adjust the forecast themselves. So it's not going to be based on just Salesforce stuff, but it can be based on manager adjustments and owner's adjustments, okay? Then after that, you can determine the forecast period. You have the option to configure the default forecast display, and you can change it from here, okay? Then you can save. Once you enable this, you cannot disable it. Let me read this. Changing your forecast setting can delete data. Removing a forecast type deletes all of the quarter and adjustment data. Changing the forecast period deletes adjustments and quarters for all active forecast types. Disabling manager or owner adjustment deletes manager or owner adjustment for the active forecast types. And there's so many things, you can't undo this action, okay? So now I change and I delete, meaning that I deleted the previous settings and I enable a new settings, okay? So now that we've done that, you see that you would have to contact, in order to disable forecasting, you will need to contact Salesforce. So look at this. It says to disable collaborative forecast, contact Salesforce customer support. Okay. So remember that once you enable that, you have to contact Salesforce before you can disable it. So now let's refresh this. I expect forecast to come up. Yeah, forecast is now up. So forecast will now tell you, okay, this is the forecast. This is the opportunity you've created. And it's going to start telling you what opportunities are close only, commit forecast, best forecast, open pipeline, and the likes. Again, you don't need to know this as an admin because it is more of a salesperson. However, the business can ask you to enable forecast. As a system administrator, your job is to enable forecast. The BA will give you instructions. This is why the BA needs to know what the options are for enabling forecast. Then they give the admin to enable forecast. Then the admin can enable forecast and the sales guys would be seeing all this. It's going to be automated. So don't worry about anything. You can also create forecast types. As you can see, we have opportunity revenue for these forecast types. We can go back and create another forecast types. So I'll go to forecast types. Just give me 1 minute. Let me see. Why is it not coming up? Forecast types. Yeah, create a forecast type. And you can select the opportunity. You select what you want to measure, like the amount. Then you select the close date as the data type. All this stuff are just intuitive, but again, you can now specify the name of the forecast type. But obviously, you need to be very descriptive in your name and you save. So once you save this, you can drag whatever information you would like to see in the forecast type. You can drag it into view. You click on next and done. Once you have this forecast type, you go back to your front end and you refresh. Once you refresh, you have the opportunity to switch to your forecast type. So 1 minute, it should come up. Okay, I think I need to enable it. So it's currently inactive. Okay, inactive, then I click on activate. So when I activate the forecast type, I can refresh this and I expect the forecast type to come up. Okay, so I have the name of the forecast. Okay, and now this is another forecast. And you can see you have the display which you've selected. So again, how is this managed? How is this done? It's done via opportunities. It's done via the probability. It's done via the stages. You see how we got into this forecast. We got into the forecast based on what we have in our stage. So whenever you are creating a new stage, you have to specify the type, you have to specify the probability, you have to specify the forecast category. The forecast category and the probability would now be controlled. The forecast you see here will now be controlled based on the probability you've set, the forecast category, and other things that Salesforce has developed inside or behind the scene. So you don't get to see the calculation, you don't get to see everything, but you just see how it works, okay? So now that we have done that, let's go into our next this thing. I've already talked about this, and this. So I'm going to go into Kanban view. Opportunities. When you see opportunities, you have the option to display it in the list view like this, which is obviously very good. But sometimes opportunities display can be in form of Kanban. So if you're working in project management, you probably know what a Kanban is. So now this is an example of a Kanban view. A Kanban view just group different opportunities and their current stages. So it kind of like give you opportunities based on their current stages, but you can control this if you want to. For instance, you can, just 1 minute. Kanban settings. So right now it's being categorized based on the stage. If you have other things which you want to categorize it based, you can change it. And if you have the summary instead of amount, you can change it to expected revenue, and it's going to give you a different view based on the type. Okay, so you have the options to move things around visually and adjust your opportunities. This is very important if you are a dedicated salesperson. But if you're not really a salesperson, or if you're just a system administrator, you probably wouldn't do this. But for your exam and for maybe consulting, it's important to know how to create a display. I think there was a time I was working on a project that requires me to show a Kanban view. And the client was extremely demanding because this is how they use Kanban, and they use their opportunities in Pipedrive. So Pipedrive is a similar CRM to Salesforce. And I was given the task to move data from Pipedrive into Salesforce. As you can see, Pipedrive have the same view, but they use Kanban view for their opportunity. And they wanted me to create similar things in Salesforce. And they were very specific. So you need to know how to attend to clients, how to use what Salesforce has in place to solve client problem. Again, your Kanban view can be grouped based on the record types. So if it's uncategorized, it's going to be in uncategorized list. But if it's categorized, then it can be in categorized list. And you can move things around based on so many things, okay? So, so that's the Kanban view for opportunities. Let's go back to opportunities again. When you're working with opportunities, there's what they call opportunities team. What are opportunities team? Opportunities team are essentially the group of people working on an opportunity. For instance, you have a very high valued customer and you know that your colleague will be working with this customer as well because they will be interacting with the customer from different departments to ensure that you can close that deal, okay? To ensure that you can close that deal. The opportunity team just helps you to collaborate with your colleague. So how do you do that? Before you can collaborate with your colleague, you need to enable what? Opportunity teams. So to do that, you go to opportunity and you have opportunity team settings and you can enable team selling. But before that, give me 1 minute. I think I need to do something. Let me just go to teams, account teams, K-team, team engagement. Let's go to account teams, enable account teams. After enabling account teams, I want to have the page layout is not really important. So I have that. Then you can specify team roles and everything. So now you have defined the roles for account teams and opportunity teams, okay? You define the roles for account teams and opportunity team if you want to. So these are the default roles. You can make them you can deactivate them if you wish to, or you can leave them active. Now that we have that, I can go to opportunity teams and enable team selling. So now that I have opportunity teams and I just enabled team selling. So what does this mean when it comes to Salesforce? It means that you want to allocate the profits you get from collaborating with your colleague. So two of you now are in charge of a customer. You want to bring that customer to close, right? You want to sell to this customer, but you're not doing that alone. Maybe you have some special skills and your colleague has a different special skills, or you're the one that brought the contact and your colleague is the one trying to close on the deal. This is where opportunity teams comes into play. So when you activate or when you enable opportunity teams, I think something comes up here. Can you see? You have this opportunity team in your related tabs, okay? So now you can now add opportunity team members. You can say these are like, can you see the option we had previously when we were enabling account team? This is account manager, and he has read write. This is channel manager or whatever it is, and it has read only. Then you save. What does this mean? It means that even if your account opportunities are private, this guy would be able to see this opportunity. Okay? It means that this guy would have access to see this opportunity, even if it is private. Do you know why? Because this guy is now part of this opportunity team. So it's very important to know the benefit of account teams, opportunity teams, and the likes. Teams generally helps you to collaborate within an organization. It's not external, but it's internal to Salesforce and the org. So if you have test user as part of this opportunity team, it means that if I log in as test user and my org-wide default is private, meaning that I can only see the record I created. Despite that, the test user will be able to see these opportunity teams because it has been added to these opportunity teams. So what are the use case of opportunity team? I just told you the use case of opportunity teams. It helps you to collaborate with your colleagues, with your friends that are working in the same enterprise. So you can split, I think you can split revenue and you can split revenue. How do you split revenue? You go to opportunity team split, and you set up opportunity split. Again, you can split revenue and you can split overlay, but they're just a way of saying, okay, if you get revenue or if you get quantity, that's what you split, okay? But this again is about is about the process you have in the system. It has nothing to do with Salesforce, but your knowledge of sales and marketing, okay? I'm only introducing you to these objects, these features, but now your knowledge of sales and marketing would now come into place. How do you sell in the ideal world without Salesforce? That's where the knowledge will not come into play to help you sell, okay, and do the splits. So once you have that, then you can easily determine the split you want per opportunity, okay? You can determine that, and for every partner you have, you can say, okay, this guy is going to get 100%, but why would this guy get 100%? Let's add or let's edit this opportunity split and add test user, because test user is also working on it. So I'll say this is 50 and this is 50, okay? Then I'll say, because we select amounts as a split, I'll just say they'll get equal amounts and save. But obviously, you don't want to split the opportunity based on amounts. You want to split on maybe certain items, I don't know. Whatever it is, that's your decision. You can also split on anything, but again, you can add new stuff and split. You can add new user and split, okay? So that's opportunity team, that's opportunity splits, and it is under opportunities. As you can see, there's so much to opportunities, but the ones you get to see by default, you don't get to see all this stuff. But if you now go deeper into the opportunity object, you start seeing the beauty of just one object. That's why standard objects are so powerful. Standard objects are so powerful because by default, they reveal themselves, or they reveal it reveals itself over time. Because if you create a custom object for opportunity, for instance, you don't get those features associated to a custom object. You have to build them, but that could take forever to build, okay? But Salesforce provides this out of the box so you can use it instantly without having to configure anything. Now, we've talked about opportunities, we've talked about opportunity teams, we've talked about opportunity splits, we've talked about forecast, we've talked about collaborative forecasting, we've talked about stages, we've talked about forecast category. Okay, those keywords are very important. They're very important because you wouldn't get to use them on a day-to-day basis. You wouldn't get to use them as a Salesforce admin. I'm telling you right now, as a Salesforce admin, all you're going to be doing is creating user and profile. As a consultant, you need to know all this. So in case you are required to build this, you would know how to build it and you know what they mean to the business. You have to explain it to the business and you tell them that close only, commit forecast, these are just collaborating forecasting features. Okay, these are just collaborating forecasting features. And you tell them, first thing you want to do is find out about their business. How do you run your business right now? Then tell them what Salesforce can do to make their business better. So don't just go and start enabling things. No, they might not need all the things which I'm explaining to you right now. But if the current business process requires them to have different parts, then you have to tell them that Salesforce has what they call sales processes that can help you differentiate different parts. If the required business, the business you're engaging with needs to have different options for opportunity type, different options for whatever you're filling, whatever form you're filling here, then you can tell them that record types can be used to clean up the things they might not require when filling an opportunity. Okay? So now that we have the basis of opportunity in place, let's go to another object that would be used in conjunction with opportunities. That object is called quote. In most times, when you quote, in most times, if you cannot find quotes in the quick search, try to go to the quick find, and I think you have to enable quotes. As you can see, it's not enabled by default. Everything is based on, everything is not enabled by default. Sometimes you just have to enable it. Once you enable it, then you can use quotes. So what are quotes? I don't need to explain what quotes are, but in case, obviously, you need to know what quotes are just records. They are just records that shows proposed prices of whatever product or service you want to provide to a business. What do I mean by that? If you want to sell an item and you are at this negotiation and review stage, this is the time you need to provide a quote because you're about to sell to the business. You're about to sell to the business. Then now let me refresh this. I expect quotes to come up. When I go back, I refresh this, quotes should not come up. This is quotes. So you want to create a new quote. How do you create a new quote? You create a new quote from opportunities, or you can also add quotes to the, you can also add the new button to quotes, okay? But I go to the opportunities and I create a new quote. Okay, you know, when we enable things, it comes into the related items for opportunities. Okay, as long as they have relationship, as long as there is something connected, they would come under the related side of it. Okay. Can you please mute if you're not speaking? Can you please mute? Tony, can you mute Dave and Omar, please? So when we have quotes, I can create a new quote and I can specify when this quote will expire, just like any other quote you send out to your prospective clients. You give them sample quotes, okay? And you put a draft, needs review, whatever it is, based on the status of the quote, and you fill all this stuff, you save. That's how to create a quote. It's just as simple as that. You can now go to the quote and you can see there is a path in quote as well. That means you can connect these quotes to your opportunity and they have stages. Again, what are the benefits of quotes, or why would you have a quote? Quotes are just, okay, I'm about to sell to this client. I need to generate a quote. That's how you generate a quote. But how would you send it to the client once you've created it? There is what they call create PDF. So when you create a quote, you can easily generate a PDF for this quote. And once you create a PDF for this quote, you can send it to the customer. And you can specify the email of the customer. You can specify who to, I think there's Salesforce, I'm not sure. But you can specify to the email, which is coming automatically from the system. You can give a message and you can send the quotes. Once you send the quotes, you can send email to a lead when there is value in the related field. Remove that lead or, okay, that was a lead. But you can send it to someone else as long as you have the email address of the person, okay? Then you send. So once you send the quote, you will see the quote PDF that you generated. It's going to automatically appear here. Then you can also see it in the file attachment. So that's how you generate quotes and that's how you send quotes. And remember, the quote is associated to the opportunities and you can see the quotes right under the opportunities. So you've learned about the opportunity team, split, and quotes. And once you're creating opportunities, you also have the option of adding a product. So technically, what are products? Products are just the items you're selling. It's a very intuitive concept, right? Products are the items you are selling. So if you don't have a product in this opportunity, you can just add a product to that opportunity. This is the product I'm selling. And this product is already in the system. You can create your new product and you can give it a value. You click on next and you click on, you have to type the quantity because the quantity is used to measure reduction in order, okay? So I save, and after I have the quantity I save, you can create a price book for a product. Okay, I need to kind of like take a step back to bring it to where we're starting from. We're starting from opportunities. And when the opportunities reach a certain stage, we want to generate what? A quote. The quote is just to say, okay, I'm about to sell this product to you. You give them that quote and you send it via email or whatever medium you choose to send that quote. After that, you go to the product which you're selling and you can see the details of this product. But there is what they call price book. The price book determines what price, the price you're setting for this product. Again, these are sales and marketing terminologies. It has nothing to do with Salesforce. Salesforce is only providing objects out of the box for you to use. So they don't want you to create the price book yourself. They just want to give you the features and they give you some controlling tools, mechanism, which you can easily use to manipulate the products, okay? So the price book technically is just associated to the product and it determines the price which you want to sell a particular product. For instance, you can use a standard price for a product. Let me see if I can open the price book. This is the price book and I have new, okay? And its standard is active. I select that. Then I want to go to, I want to add a product to this price book. So let me go back to products. And I have a product. Okay, just an example of a product. I want to add the standard price book, which is this, and I save. So just say this is a price book, okay? That's how you add that. But you can add more. You can add to price book, okay? The one I created, save. So whenever you're adding this product, you can dynamically change the price you want to offer. It could be this price, it could be another price. So you might have a default price, which is standard, but you can now adjust the price based on the clients. Maybe you want to reduce or you want to increase. It's totally up to you. Salesforce provides this tool out of the box. You just need to know what object you want and the purpose of that object. It's very important. So I'm going to take a quick pause here to ask you some questions regarding what I've just explained. Then you tell me how you would implement this as a consultant. Okay, so let me just kind of like read the questions out and you tell me how you would implement it. There's a corporation in place. Okay, they have an existing process and everything is looking good. However, they would like to add a new line item that follows a different process of sales or different sales process. What would you do to, let me explain. There's a corporation right now. They currently have a good sales process and everything is looking good. They can sell without any issue. But the management is thinking about introducing a new line item whereby it follows a different process entirely. And there are different questions or different fields or different forms that they need to fill in order to sell to that client, also to sell to their customer. how would you be able to implement this without disrupting the existing process? What tools and techniques are you going to use to implement this without disrupting the existing process as a consultant? What would you do?
Well, you'd create a new sales process and then use a different path and have multiple record types.
Yes, that's a key thing.
I think
a new sales process, pick list and record types.
Not just pick list, but form fields. Okay, but the most important thing here is record types. You create a new process and you create a new record type that will differentiate different paths to take for that new process. So if they select a new process, it does not disrupt the existing process flow. Okay, that's the main thing that's what they're trying to test in this scenario. I think there's another question I can easily ask you. So for opportunities, okay, this is another question. For opportunities that are valued at, let's say, $100,000, we need to do an additional maybe verification of the client. How would you be able to implement this without disrupting? Okay, so right now, I want to say if the opportunity value is above 100,000, I want to do a verification on the client. If it is under $1,000, I don't want to do any verification. How can I solve this from using Salesforce?
You can have a different path for the two of them. The one can, as part of the path, it can say that you must verify the client, and then the other path can be a different one. But I'm not sure if this would still be a different record type as well.
I think you use
cases. Yeah, it's still the same answer. It's just different questions. It's just the same answer, okay? You're trying to differentiate process paths, and you're using different sales processes, and you're using different record types to initiate those sales processes, okay? That's all you're doing, and that's what you should be doing as a consultant. Does anyone have any questions to ask?
Yes, please. I think when you just started the class, you spoke about a close date. I think this was in opportunities, and I might have missed what you explained under close date.
So when I said close date, is the date which the opportunity was closed, okay? But when you click on close, you need to select whether it is close won or close lost.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So whenever you select close, you need to say, is it close won or close lost? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And it's an exam question as well.
But if it is a close loss, can you still go back to it again? That means that it's closed. You can't do anything again about it. Close lost.
So if you mark this as closed right now and you say it's closed loss, okay?
Yeah.
Now you can just change the status again and say it's closed won. You know, but the most important thing is they use this to do forecasting. That's all. So when you are in close won or close loss, you don't include it into it's no longer in pipeline, right? And you cannot predict based on this, it's already gone. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, it's not using collaborative forecasting anymore. That's just the disadvantage. That's just the benefit, or would I say the features? Whether you have it closed, if it's closed, then you don't see it in forecast. Forecast is what are my likely revenue in the next quarter? What are my likely revenue in X amount of months? Like in the next month, January, what are my likely revenue and stuff like that? That's what forecast is. So that is used for forecasting. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. Adiola, please.
Yes, thank you. My question is, who updates the opportunity splits and members? Is it the account manager himself or someone senior in the hierarchy like the VP of sales?
Yeah, I said something like that, right? It depends on your business, like the business process. So what does that mean? It means that you guys can just come together among yourself and say 50-50, right? Then you just update it. That's it. But you also have, when you're adding people to opportunity teams, there's always a role, right? Okay. There's always a role. So that role could be the one in charge of deciding whether the split is 50-50 or something like that. Do you get?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No worries. Grace, please.
Hi, Babatope. Yes, you mentioned something about opportunity splits, revenue and overlay. Can you please differentiate between revenue and overlay, please?
Okay. I think revenue has to do with amount, right? Let me go back to this opportunity split. Revenue has to do with amount, and overlay just has to do with, maybe you can use quantity for overlay. But the most important thing is, in revenue, it has to be 100%, meaning that everything must add to 100%. But for overlay, you have the option to customize it such that you can add 1 + 2 + 3. So it is quantity based. So you don't know what it is. It could just be, okay, you have an opportunity to sell 100 books to a client. And now you say, if you can sell 10 books, you're going to get X amount. If you can sell 20 books, you can get X amount. So there's nothing like 100%. Okay? So they're not reaching 100%. They're just saying, sell 10 and you get this amount. Sell this and you get this amount. Whereas for revenue, it has to be 100%. So you have a total of $100,000. Then when you split, it has to be based on whether it's 50% each, 25% for 4 people, or whatever percentage you want it to be. But the bottom line is it has to be 100%. But for overlay, it's just quantity or any item you want to use as the split label or something like that. But you have the revenue and overlay, but you can add more to that as well if you want to. Okay?
Can we say overlay is volume?
Perhaps. The truth is that I'm not a sales guy. I'm just a Salesforce person. So it's more of a sales concept. It's more of a sales terminology, right? So if you're really, really into the sales aspect of Salesforce, then these are the kind of things you probably want to pay more attention to and find out how to configure it. But again, yeah, you can say whatever it is according to your business. Okay. But remember, as a consultant, you are deciding for the business because you're going to leave. As an admin, you probably wouldn't need this. As a consultant, you are deciding for the business. So these are the kind of things you put in your PowerPoint or your slide to present this solution. And you implement it and you're gone. So if they want to edit it in future, it's up to them. Do you get what I mean? So always say the right thing, especially if you're consulting for a big business. Don't say the wrong thing, or make sure you do your research before you say whatever they need to start using going forward. So does that make sense?
Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Mo, please.
Okay, sorry, I was just trying to mute myself. So the question is, do I need to first do the opportunities team before I can now do the opportunity split? Because my understanding that the opportunity team just tells me the number of people that were involved in the opportunity to make the opportunity a reality. Whereas the opportunity split is about how we split the revenue on that opportunity. And it will be split across people. So I just want to be sure if one comes before the other.
Yes. So you have to enable the opportunity team first before you can start doing splitting, because splitting is based on opportunity teams. Okay? So without one, the other cannot work. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Erica, please.
Hi, thanks, Babatope. Okay, just to add, my question is separate from this, but based on what the previous person had mentioned, I'm just looking on your screen right now, and then below that it says split settings. Let users add members to opportunity teams while editing splits. If you activate or enable that, would that help the question that she had before? Would that help to, I guess, facilitate the process to make it more efficient? So you can do things simultaneously is kind of what I...
So what do you mean by efficient though? Is it not efficient right now?
No, like, well, because I believe the lady before is asking if you need to, if you could do the splits first or you need to have the team members. You can have the team members, but when I'm seeing that option to activate that, it seems like while you're adding the members, if you know the splits, you can edit the splits at the same time. Is that correct with this particular?
Let's user add members to opportunity teams while editing the splits. Sorry.
Yeah, so then you don't have to go back. You can do it simultaneously while you're editing.
Okay. Okay, so I want to see if I can disable the team.
Mm-hmm.
So we have opportunity settings. I'm not sure if you disable splits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to opportunity settings, disable team setting. Okay, so I go here and all this is gone. So now your question is you want to enable team splitting without teams, opportunity teams, okay? So let's go and...
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Can you see it's gone? You don't even have that option until you enable the team. Mm-hmm. So once you have the team enabled, then you can now do opportunity splits. Okay.
Right, but from what I understand with that feature, when you tick that box, while you're doing the split, you can add team members. That's how I was interpreting that.
Yes.
So you already have your team, but you can continue to add, I guess, from that same place.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what that option said, right? Mm-hmm. So if you set up the opportunity split, okay, we have this, and we save, we enabled. Mm-hmm. Then we have the layout for that. Then after that, we want to enable this, which I think we did the last time, but let's just wait for this, and this is enabled, okay? Mm-hmm. If the selected user add members only via opportunity teams. So now it's saying that I can add members while I'm doing the split, just like what I showed you the last time. So if you go to this opportunity split and I go to view all, can you see this? I edit the split and I can add team members. That's what that stuff is saying. Like I can add team members while I'm adding opportunity splits. Okay, so I think if that wasn't selected, okay, and let's refresh this just to make sure that it's not selected. Then we go to this and I refresh. Okay, I refresh again. So I hope it kicks in, go to edit and, okay, I'm an admin. As an admin, you probably would have that option to do stuff. I'm thinking if you're non-admin, you might not get that opportunity to add that, okay? But that's what that is interpreting. Let user add members to opportunity teams while editing splits, okay? If the selected user can add member only via opportunity. Okay, let's okay, if deselected. Okay, it's not working, but that was the interpretation of the English language, right?
Yeah, I was just curious based on what she had asked. But my actual question is pertaining to the price list that screen that you were on. And if you're able to, so let's say in this screen, you're adding in the pricing. But let's say you're part of a company and you have, maybe it's like hundreds of different items and different prices. Is there a way to import that price list to save the manual inputting?
Let me see.
And
I think
the product family, I noticed I think I saw product family on that page as well. Like, is there a way to import those that information?
There might be, possibly if you're using data loader. Yeah, because those are very, I wouldn't say technical, but I don't do them at work, so I wouldn't know much about them. But I'm pretty sure that if you can load objects into the price book, then we can just do it, right? So whatever it is, you can load through data loader, and all this stuff will just pre-populate itself. Okay, so you don't have to do it manually. You can do it through data loader. Anytime you want to load bulk of data, you need to do it through data loader. Doing it manually wouldn't solve the problem, right? It has to be through data loader. Yeah.
I would think that's inefficient. So okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks.
No worries. Opeyemi, please.
Thank you, Babatope. So my question is there any permission set or feature license that allows you to work with opportunities objects?
No, opportunities is standard objects, and you don't need a feature license to use opportunities. However, for you to use certain features of the opportunity, like some of the things I've said so far, might require you to have the Sales Cloud. Okay, there is what they call Einstein prediction. Okay, you can use Einstein prediction for forecasting. Okay, and that might require you to have a Sales Cloud license. Okay, so you don't need Sales Cloud Einstein readiness, then, like that might require you to have a special license. But so far, whatever I've shown you, you just need to enable or disable. You don't need to have a special license for it. Okay? Yeah. So now, we can continue. So now that we have these opportunities, there's also what they call the big alerts. What is big alerts when it comes to opportunities? Big alerts, big deal alerts. The big deal alert is what an automated email that includes a snapshot of an opportunity that has reached a given threshold. You can set your threshold by entering a trigger amount and probability. The email will be sent when both triggers are met or exceeded. What does that mean? It means that, when things are moving into different stages, this expected value will be changing. Okay? This expected value will be changing. So you can set big deal alert to your manager or to someone responsible, or maybe someone that is in a bigger. Hi.
Can you go over it again? You went offline. I couldn't hear you.
Okay. So I was saying in opportunities, we have what they call big deal alerts. So a big deal alert is an automated email that includes a snapshot of an opportunity that has reached a given threshold. You can set your threshold by entering a trigger amount and probability. The email will be sent when both triggers are met or exceeded. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have an amount that is in $1 million or it is in $10 million and someone enters it into the system, you can send a big deal alert to your manager that there's an opportunity that is valued at $1 million and you want your manager to be aware of this opportunity deal. Okay, so how do you set that? You just give it a name, higher ideal opportunity, okay, and you make it active. Then you say if it is $1 million or whatever it is, and if the probability of closing this deal is 90%. So what I'm trying to say is that if this deal is $1 million it's not going to send a big deal alert, okay? However, because you're moving into different stages and probability changes based on the stage you are. For instance, if you are in prospecting, the stage is 10%. If you are in need analysis, the stage is 20%. If you are in perception analysis, it's 70%. If you are in negotiation, then it's 90%. So the big deal alert is going to send an email to your manager or a designated person that, oh, dear, we have something that is about to close. You need to pay attention to this deal, okay? And you give it a sender name. You give it sender email. Then the user, right? The user that should be getting the big deal alert. Obviously, that's not very helpful when the sender and the user are the same. Test user. Then notify emails like other recipients if you want. Salesforce developer 1960@gmail.com. Then you can CC and stuff like that. Then you can also notify the opportunity owner, the person that created the opportunity, okay? Then you save.
I think the user should be you though.
Select a user with a view all data permission. What do you mean the user should be me?
Sender name, your email, and then you, the user. I don't think it's the recipient.
Yeah. It's what recipient are you talking about? Like the recipient is someone
the recipient should be the person that will get notified, right?
Yes.
So I'm saying that for the user place, it should be your name, since you are the user who is setting this up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're not
right.
Test user.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So now we set the big deal alert, and whenever we have $1 million, I think this is 4 million, so it's right, and we have this saved, then the system should be sending a big deal alert to the designated email address that is in the system, okay? I think Salesforce offers email log files. I'm not sure if we can see that, but or you have to probably request that. I want to see what's today. Today's 9. Let me just put 22. And I want to just submit requests. So this is just a way to check whenever Salesforce sends email out on your behalf, you can check it, okay? You can check what's going on. So what's this? The end date must be before the current date time. This is 03. This is
09.
What's the current date? The current date is 10, right?
No, yeah, 10.
And the end date must be before the current date.
We can use 9. 9,
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't expect it to run, but
it's strange. Why is it choosing a date before today's date?
Yeah, because you don't. It checks. It's an email log, right? And it's gonna check all the emails that were sent, maybe like in the last few days.
Okay.
Yeah, in the last few days. That's why. But this is just some tools that you probably wouldn't need. But as a system admin, it's something you should be familiar with, because it will help you find out if Salesforce is actually sending the email which are supposed to be sent out from the system. But anyways, that's the big deal alert, and that's how it works. It sends an email to the designated person and the recipient based on the value and probability. As you can see, when we went to the big deal alert, the probability is required, okay? And the value is required as well. So if the amount and probability matches, it's going to send that email out. So we have what we call contracts. What are contracts? Contracts are generally what it is, right? You create a contract with a prospective client or agreement that they need to do X amount or provide X amount of services. That's contract. And Salesforce enables you to create contract automatically. So you don't have to worry about all those clauses and everything, you can just put everything you need here and Salesforce will create a contract for you. And we also have what we call orders. There's order. Order are generally what the client has requested for. For instance, you need to create a quote. The client accepts the quote, and you can create an order once the client is about to pay. Then you use this to create order. But remember, order requires contract number. Okay, so without the contract number, you cannot create order. And that's how Salesforce just gives you that opportunity to use the inbuilt objects to manage your end-to-end flow of the Salesforce platform. And one last thing before we end for tonight is we have what they call dashboard. So when you go to the home page, you see this dashboard, which is obviously what most people will be using when they get into their Salesforce org. But when you're working within the sales and marketing department, you have the opportunity to create your own dashboard, or you can use the App Exchange. The App Exchange Marketplace to find out a suitable dashboard for your sales. For instance, this is an adoption dashboard, but we can put in sales and we can put in sales activity dashboard. We can have that. Remember, it's free. You can just click on it and you can add it, okay? But before we start getting dashboard and App Exchange, let me kind of like tell you about App Exchange. So App Exchange is a marketplace that helps you get things developed or designed by other people. Remember, when you're creating your Salesforce org, I ask you to create an app. This is an app which we created. And within this app, we develop or we use some custom objects, right? And we were able to just kind of like streamline whatever we're doing based on those custom objects. Now, when you want to have a certain feature in Salesforce, and the feature will take you some time to build, okay? The feature will probably take you X amount of days to build. What you can do is to go to the App Exchange Marketplace and find out if someone has already done that feature. So you don't have to redesign the wheel. You just literally get someone else's feature and you import it into your Salesforce org. This is similar to WordPress. You know, when you're using WordPress, you have what they call plugins. And the plugins are just tools, are just design development made by other people, and they made it available to you to use within your WordPress website. That's similar to the Salesforce App Store. So this is free. Obviously, you can use it and you don't have to pay for it. However, some other applications developed by others might not be free. So you just need to know that you might require a license, and the license will be tied down to your Salesforce subscription or something like that. Then you can start using that App Exchange. But for this one, it's free and you can use it. And when you're trying to get into the App Exchange and you want to log into the App Exchange, you have to use your OAuth and everything. And once you have it, you have to install it into your org, okay? You install it into your org. Don't click on Sandbox, click on this org, okay? Install here. And once you have that, it's going to be automatically installed and you'll be able to use it within your Salesforce. So now that it's going to ask you, what should you do if there's a conflict? Do not install. So you want to really, really pay attention to this, because if you're installing someone else's feature that you don't even know the person, then you could possibly be installing something that could break your existing Salesforce org. Or for instance, if the person has created an object, a custom object that is similar to the custom object you've created, then there could be conflicts. Then you want to kind of like say, okay, if there's conflict, do not install or rename the conflict component. Maybe you want to rename yours to _C or _2 or something like that. Okay. And you can also install for admins only. The good thing about installing for admin only is that other users might not be affected. And if they are not affected, they wouldn't see the broken platform. But if you install generally for everyone, then whatever happens, you have to understand the consequences of installing for everyone, okay? So now that we're installing the sales and activity dashboard, we don't have to create this dashboard ourselves. We can just use it out of the box, okay? So now that this is installing, but I think it should, yeah. No, I don't need to continue shopping. I think it has been installed successfully. I'm going to go refresh this and I'm going to go to dashboard. This is dashboards. I'm going to go to all dashboards. This is a sales activity metrics, which I have just installed. And it gives you a very good dashboard, but obviously this is what our data is giving us, right? But your data might maybe be more interesting than this, and you'll be able to see some fancy stuff. But for this, there is not much to see. It's just boring, right? There's what they call adoption dashboard as well. I think adoption dashboard might be a bit better for visual representation. Why is this breaking? Just 1 minute. Okay, I think there's something wrong with the system.
Maybe ISIS.
I showed the wrong dashboard. Okay, there's what they call adoption dashboard. I think that's very popular. You click on it and you get it now. So if you're as a consultant, you should be installing this for every organization you deal with, because they will love it. You know, it kind of like tell them what is going on within their Salesforce org, who are the users that are logging in and the likes, and they would generally like it and they will appreciate your work. Anytime I consult for any business, I usually have a dashboard, because the dashboard is what they will see and they will determine whether you actually know your stuff or not. Okay, so it's very important to create some nice looking dashboard that would encourage or convince the client that you know what you're doing. Okay, so now that we've installed this dashboard, I can just go back to my dashboards. I can refresh this. All dashboards, sales adoption dashboards. Okay, refresh. So can you see, this kind of like gives a very good feel of how the organization is doing, and it's free. Okay, it's free. That means you can just create a new page and just change it to the page. You can make this, you can make it dashboard and it automatically adds it to the navigation, and someone can just go there and start seeing this dashboard, okay? So that's how to present your sales data. But obviously, this is not only presenting opportunities, it's also presenting leads, it's presenting other things. But again, it's just for you to know how to present information. We're still going to talk about data and data management in Salesforce, but this is one of the requirements for sales and marketing, okay? So now that we know Salesforce sales and marketing side of things, I think we are good for tonight. We spent 3 days on this alone, and I think it's very exhausting, but we are good for tonight, okay? So I want to find out if you guys have any questions before we end the class. So I think Grace, are you still raising up your hand, or you've answered? I've answered your question. Rosemary, please.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask, this new dashboard that we've downloaded from the App Exchange, does it just apply to this Blackforce app you've created, or does it apply to all the other apps like sales, service, cases, and everything? Because it seems to be showing in just this Blackforce app.
That's because the Blackforce app is what I currently opened, right? So if I'm in the sales app and I open dashboard from the sales app, it's going to appear there as well. Okay. So let me go to the sales app. Just give me 1 minute. Let me go to the sales app. This is the sales app. And I go to dashboards.
It's right beside reports.
Oh, okay. I go to dashboards and I go to adoption dashboards. It's just open it. Can you see? So
yeah.
It's independent on the app. It's just where you currently at, and it's just going to open it. Okay.
You can't change how it looks like the colors or anything.
You can change anything in Salesforce. Like, you just need to pay attention, and you can change anything. Like, there's so many things you can do, but you have to go on the hub and start looking for things to play around with. Don't limit yourself to what we're teaching in class, but go there and just play around with it. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, because this was gotten from the App Exchange, so I was wondering if there was a way to play around with the colors and the appearance and everything.
Yeah, when we get to
okay. Oh, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, when we get to data management in Salesforce, we're going to do report and dashboards, and we're going to do data loader. There's so much to do here. You can change the field, you can change the color, you can change whatever you want and everything like that. Okay. But obviously we haven't gotten there yet, but we're going to get there. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. On no real date, please.
Good evening, Batope. Okay, sorry, my question is about the class. I'm already confused. I'm lost already, but I'll catch up. It's about the quiz you posted. I don't know, which one did you say we should work on, we should do? What can we play with for now?
The
there
quiz.
Are 3 different ones.
Yeah, the 3 different quiz, but give me 1 minute, let me think. Quiz. I sign in. You can just take any one of them, right? It's not really a big deal. The only thing you shouldn't take is the programming one, because that was for my last training session. But for Salesforce, just take the mock quiz to test, to see how the quiz is. You can do that as much as possible. Okay.
Okay.
As many times as possible. But this one, I want to see how you perform in this one. Okay.
Which of them? The 60 or the 51?
The 50. You don't have anything to do with introduction to programming for now. Okay. This is a quiz that I posted yesterday. Play around with this. Make sure you know where the next button is, know how the time is, and stuff like that. But this one, I want to see how you're doing with this. Okay, because it's very easy, straightforward. But I want to see how you're doing. So I have
I tried to do the mock quiz twice, but it's restrict me. It don't allow me to do the quiz again.
Are you sure?
Yes, it said the attempted allowed attempts are done.
Is it this one or this one? Because this one is one time you can do it, but this one you can do it as many times. I've seen people done this like 10 times and they got 100%. So if it's this one, yes. But
so that's a mock one.
No. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can do it as many times as possible. Let me check. Let me just show you what I can see from a user, from a manager point of view. As you can see, this is the mock practice, 38 students taking it. And if I go to the stats, I can see the number of times they've taken it, right? Can you see? 6 times and the likes, okay? So someone take it 36 times. So definitely you can take it more than once, but the other one is only one time you can take it, okay? But this one,
the 50.
The 50 is only one time you can take it.
Oh my God.
Only once. But I'll still open it up, okay? I'll still open it up for you to take it as many times as possible. But I want to see what everyone will score before I open it up. I'll open it up on Saturday. You can take it as many times as possible after Friday. So please take your test before Friday so I can see how well you're doing, okay? Then I can now see maybe you're even ready for any form of certification or not, okay? It's just for me to see how well you're doing. And if you see these, I think attempts, you see, 100 attempts, so you can do it as much as possible, okay? So I've put a lot of settings in place to ensure that, you know, like most of you, if you're a subscriber, you get to see the answer at some point. So I'm going to configure that for subscribers. But for non-subscribers, you don't get to see the answer, but you can try it as many times as possible just to see where you're making mistake and maybe you can correct it. But obviously, that's a bit tricky, right? But again, that's the benefit of being a subscriber. But yeah, I think that's all from me.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is it possible? I know you said that you wouldn't, for us that didn't subscribe, you wouldn't allow us to see the answers. But is it possible at least to show us maybe the numbers that we failed, right? So we can know the area we're improving on. Is it possible?
What I can do...
That's all we're asking for, right? Just at least see the ones we failed. Then we can now know the areas to concentrate on, please.
Let's complete your good work.
Please, thank you.
I have to think about that. I'll have to think about it, okay? But yeah, it's possible, but it's probably going to require a bit of configuration, but let me think about it, okay? But I want the subscribers to actually benefit. One of the benefits of the subscriber actually is they will have a 1-week session with me, regardless of whether I show the answer or not. They will always have a 1-week session for the practice, but I can easily enable show answer maybe after the end of the training or something like that. But I'll try to see what I can do. Okay. But again, I want the subscribers to have extra features and benefit because they've shown interest that they want to proceed with this Salesforce career. I know you guys probably want to proceed as well. It's just that you feel that, okay, I'm not in the, you know, I don't know, whatever it is. But yeah, let's talk about it.
In their diary, but
can we have like can you have a tiered subscription? For those of us that just want answer alone, that we're not interested in the other,
that was what I thought as well. So just like we have for the Black Force, you have a subscription that is just focused on the quiz, and it tells you the subscription is probably just very basic, like $10 or $25 or whatever it is. But you get to see the answers, the explanation, and everything.
Let's do that.
Okay, yeah, I can enable that. That's not a problem. Yeah, okay.
What's the password, please, for the quiz? I can't remember.
November 12th. I think I put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the test, right? Not the mock quiz, the test itself.
Yeah.
And we should do it by Friday later.
Yeah, do it by Friday so I can enable it for you guys to do it multiple times. But I can still enable it for you guys to see the answer after the quiz. The only thing there is that there's going to be so many quizzes I want to bring, okay? But I want to bring it based on what we've learned in class. I don't want to give you questions that we haven't done in class yet, then you start getting confused and you start guessing. I don't want that. I want a case whereby I've taught you leads, I've taught you sales and marketing, then I'll give you questions on that sales and marketing. So you know that we just literally did this, right? There's no way you're going to forget it. Just like most of the questions you see in the live assessment, everything you should be getting 100%. I'm pretty sure about that, but some of you might get confused a little bit. But everything we've done is what I brought in that quiz. So I'll try my best to load as many questions as possible. I'm looking at 500 to 700, but it takes time for me to actually review this. It takes time for me to actually go into the Salesforce and validate some of the questions and answers. So that's what is taking my time. but I'll try my best to put it on as soon as I can. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. I think that's all, but let's answer some questions. D, your hand is raised. Do you have any question?
Yeah, thank you, Babatope. Thank you so far. You've been wonderful. I actually must, commend your effort for what you've been doing. Actually, I just have 2 questions. Basically, the first one is, Salesforce, can we use it to, manage inventory? Is there any way we can use this, the software to manage inventory?
Yes, obviously, Salesforce can do anything. And one of them is the fact that you have a custom object. Okay. Custom object would just help you if there's no inventory. If there's no inventory object, you can create it and you can start creating fields and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure Salesforce can also manage inventory, but I'm trying to see if it's a Service Cloud that will do that best or the Sales Cloud. But I have not really worked on an inventory project, but I'm pretty sure Salesforce can do that. You just need to be able to create that custom object and create the fields for that inventory.
Okay, thank you. Then my second question is that on my screen, when I logged in, I am not able to access the, quiz. So I wouldn't know.
So what's your profile? Are you a subscriber?
Yes.
1 minute, please. Let me just check your name and I should be able to but everyone gets to see the online quiz anyway. So I don't know where you're going. Did you come to single login?
Yeah, I normally access through single login.
So when you log into single login, did you see this? Did you see this modules?
No, I didn't see the. Let me.
You did not see any module yet. How did you get into the training schedule?
I just used the single login. Then when I logged in, I could only see the training schedule on. Okay, training schedule. Then my learning. Let me check and one other. Let me just check. Okay, training schedule, online booking, then my learning.
It's what's your name?
Debo, Badebo.
Badebo.
Ahmed Eluyera.
Did I spell it right?
Gbadebo.
Oh, sorry. Badebo. Okay. Badebo.
Yes.
Is that your full name?
Ahmed Badebo Eluyera. HMAD. AHMAD. MAH. No. Okay. MED.
I can't. I don't know what using. I don't know.
Okay, are you asking for my username?
No, I'm asking for your full name. How did you register into the single login?
I used Debo. I think I used Debo. DEBO. Okay, that should be it.
Are you a subscriber?
Yes.
But regardless of whether you are a subscriber or not, you should be able to see the even the standard users have ability to see the online assessment. So I can let's take that offline, please. Okay.
No problem.
Let's take that offline. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just need to verify that you're a subscriber before I enable the subscriber profile. But regardless, you should be able to see the online assessment because it's enabled for even standard profile. Okay?
Oh, okay. I will drop you a message right away. So that you know that it's me.
WhatsApp group. His name is D.
Okay. Yeah. If anyway, there's a process in place. I cannot do that right now. I'll just follow the process. Please. Yeah.
Hi, good evening. My question is that the online assessment, does it cover everything up until now or up until day 6?
Day 6, not up to now, day 6.
All right, thank you.
Okay, yeah, but there'll still be more coming next week. Be ready for it. Just be ready. Yeah, if you really want to take the certification, I'll recommend you paying attention to the quiz. And if you need to subscribe for viewing the answer, please subscribe, because it's going to help you master the answer, and you'll be able to, answer other questions based on your understanding of the previous answers and everything. Okay. Yeah.
When are you going to put the option for us to subscribe for the quiz?
I'll develop that over the weekend. Like, my team will develop that over the weekend, and hopefully by next week you should be able to have it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, but it's gonna be $25, okay? Because a lot of work.
Yeah, sure.
Are you guys okay with that? And there's no offline payments, because the offline payment kind of like stresses the team out, and it takes a lot of work. But online payment just streamline the entire process, and we don't have to do anything, just to make you guys happy. Okay.
All right,
no worries. I'm a big place.
You just answered my question.
Sorry.
My hand. Yeah. Thanks.
Antonia, please.
Good morning, Babatope. Thank you so much for all your time and efforts. I was listening to the conversation just now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And I was under the impression, because I'm in Nigeria, and I was under the impression that Nigerians are not really, or rather people in Nigeria, residents in Nigeria, were not really encouraged to subscribe. So has that changed?
So subscription is different, okay? The main subscription for mentorship is different from all this. All this is just for, okay, because subscribers have the privilege of viewing the answers, but other people don't have that privilege, then I want to make it possible for them. That's why we're building that feature, okay? The subscribers are actually going through an intensive session right now. And that intensive session is to get them job ready by January. There will be so many Salesforce jobs by January, February. And if you're not ready by December, you won't be able to get that job by January. So the reason why I discourage people from Nigeria or outside of North America is that it's very hard to get a Salesforce job outside of North America right now. If you're in Europe, chances are you will get a Salesforce job, but the job opportunities might be limited compared to somewhere in North America. North America, you have Salesforce job almost every day. There are over 1,000 Salesforce job on LinkedIn right now. Developer are like 50% and stuff. But having said that, subscription for this is just for me to, or for you to be able to see the answers of the quiz. Okay? It's not for you to be able to get a job in like 2 months or 3 months, because those requires a lot of effort, and you just have to be in Canada for it to be worth your time and worthwhile for you. Otherwise, it's just going to be like, okay, now I'm subscribed, I'm not getting jobs or offers because I'm in Canada, right? You understand?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So my thing, the challenge for me is, okay, being, this time of the morning and having such a rigorous schedule, I've struggled sometimes with the classes. And I know that one of the benefits of having a subscription is being able to go back to the videos, even if you've missed attendance. Do you understand what I mean? So even beyond being able to be job ready, and I understand the whole, the dynamics of the job opportunities and everything in Canada and America, but because there are other features that are attached to the subscription that we're now missing out on, because we don't have a subscription. So I understand that this is a special feature for the results of the test, but even the general subscription itself has features that we don't have access to, because we don't have that subscription. Am I making any sense? Sorry, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's okay. I understand. Yeah, I understand. So what we plan to do is after the training, you can still access the video, but you just need to have a subscription. You don't have to have the mentorship-based subscription whereby you're going through rigorous training, because that alone is just too much. And I wouldn't expect you to do that if you're not looking for a job, because you need to be actively looking for a job for you to go through the mentorship-based subscription. But after the training, we can make the video available. As long as you're subscribed to the platform, you can get the videos and stuff like that. Okay. Everything is driven with your single login, right? If you have a single login, you can access this stuff, but you need to subscribe to those platforms that provide those services. and hopefully we should be able to do that. But again, my focus right now is just for the
guys who are trying to get a job.
Subscribers that can get a job within 2 to 3 months. Okay.
Thank you. So just to be clear, the classes that I have actually attended, I have access to them. But after the training, I'll need a subscription to.
Yeah, to constantly have access to them. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you have a plan for that yet, or no?
Yeah, there's a plan for that. All I just need to do is reduce the price on the Blackforce training to $225, and you can keep watching the videos. But
okay,
that's as long as you're subscribing every other month, you're good to go.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no worries. Bim, please. Bim, you raised your hand up. Do you have any questions? Okay, I'm going to go with Olusheyi, and we close for tonight. Olusheyi, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Babatope. Thank you for all you do. So I just want to follow up on Antonia's question, because presently I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. It's been an interesting session, but I can tell you it's been challenging being able to connect every day. Okay.
Carry on.
Yeah. Let me give a good case study. 2 days ago, by the time I woke up, I just said, let me just take a nap to prepare for the
Can this
session.
just be outside the class? It's being recorded.
Oh, okay. No, let me quickly make my point. Just to follow up. So for the class I miss, once I subscribe, will I be able to get access to them too? That's the question I want to make. Thank you.
Yeah. We're just going to reduce the subscription from $250 to probably $25, and you'll be able to watch the video just like a normal subscriber, but you have to do that every other month. So what you just need to do is watch the video before the end of the month. Otherwise, it's going to charge you the next month, and you can cancel your subscription anytime. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other person before we close? We've really, we're not asking questions on what we learned. We're asking
Can you still
questions.
subscribe to the 250 package?
Oh, no, it's too late. Oh, it's really too late. Trust me, like, you're going to be putting us back. We've done a lot of things, and a lot of things are still in process. I'm hoping that we can use this model for other quads, but right now, I don't think I would recommend you to subscribe to $250 subscription for mentorship, because it's just too late. Okay? Sorry about that.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, Babatope, a quick one, please. Just to be very clear, we're actually handling a project at the moment. Are you encouraging us to also take the quiz alongside?
I don't get that.
Okay. I think you're setting deadlines for the quiz and the mock and all of that, the mock test and all of that. So just trying to, because you said before Friday, right? We should have taken the quiz.
Yeah. The quiz will take you 10 minutes if you've been in this class all this while. 10 minutes max. If you're spending more than 15, 20 minutes on the quiz, that's not good. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's for the quiz, and the mock is also different. We can just play around with that. That's what's the main.
Oh, the mock is 10 questions. You take about 3 minutes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we'll just play with those two, at least for now.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. I think that's all from me. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the audience. I really appreciate that. We've learned a lot in the last few weeks. Okay. One thing I just want to make sure I want to tell you guys is tomorrow is holiday in Canada, and there wouldn't be any class just because we have to respect the holiday. The next class would be on Monday. However, I would like you guys to take the quiz, and I would like you guys to do your projects. On Monday, I'm going to be, depending on how things go, on Monday, I might probably solve the project for you guys and give you the version 2 of the projects in advance. Or depending on how I see, we might solve it towards the end of next week. Okay? But no class tomorrow, no class on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until Monday.
Yay!
Okay?
Even the tutorial classes too.
You guys are on a different stuff, okay? So don't even think you're on a general stuff. General stuff is no class, but tutorial is, don't even be talking about this in this place, okay? Yeah.
Tutorial is fine.
Savi, please.
There are options to get an extension for the queues.
I mean to say, rather than the Friday, can it be on Saturday or Sunday? Because on Friday, if we are working, I know it's a public holiday, but people like me would be working. So that's the reason I'm asking. Is there an option to get an extension?
But the quiz is just 50 questions. You can do it with, even after this session, you can go on the quiz and finish it within 15 minutes if you know what you're doing.
It's not that easy.
Are you serious? Okay, can we do the quiz together right now and see?
Yes.
No,
yes.
We did not pass. No. Let
us try it first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone should try it.
If we
Yeah,
try
please
now,
try
there's
it.
no point. There's
It's not getting score a 0.
No, not the actual test. The mock quiz is what he's saying.
No. The mock is part of the.
Try it on our own first.
Try it on our own.
That would be a no.
Try it with him now. There's no point. It's no more a quiz.
Okay. You guys should try it first, yeah? Try your
everybody
best.
should try it on their own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody should try the quiz, the mock, and we can agree on the time to do it.
Exactly. Maybe Monday we can go through it. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's okay to score a 0. Next time you will not score 0. You have 100%.
The essence is for people to try and see where they stand, not just for
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, guys.
People don't want to do the trailhead so that they won't fail at this point.
Everybody on a level ground, please.
Trust me, I'm gonna give you the quiz, and if you can get everything in the quiz, you would be good for the certification. Certification is very easy. It's a different strategy for certification.
I'm not ready for certification. If it's by this one.
Okay.
I'm far from ready.
Hello?
Yes, Abby. Yes,
those questions tested my spirit.
So
please.
I'm asking if it's possible for me to do it on Saturday, the quiz, and Saturday itself, the other one, 50 question one. Is it possible to do? Or is it like when if I go on Saturday to do it, the window will be closed and I cannot do it?
No, you can still do it after Friday. The only difference is that I wouldn't know where you stand. I wouldn't know your understanding of what we've learned in class. Okay? After Friday, I will just generate a report and I'll see what everyone scored. Then I will open it up for you to do it anytime you want. However, you will be able to do it more than once, meaning that obviously you've seen the question before, because you can go online and just make a research on the question and come back, right? So the only difference is I want to see where you stand in the first attempt. Then subsequent attempts, you can do it whenever you feel like, okay? Don't worry, don't stress yourself. Go with the flow. If you cannot do it by Friday, do it on Saturday. It's still going to be there, okay?
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
For the project, are you able to extend the deadline for the project?
I don't want to put a date on that deadline. I want you guys to be motivated enough to do it because there's still part 2 to that project, right? But I think next week is when you should be ready or to submit that project, okay? If you're a subscriber, I'm going to review it. If you're not, we're going to do it in class. Maybe on Thursday, we're going to do the project together.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, on Thursday, we'll do it together. So try your best and do it before Thursday. But we have like 4 days right now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please stay connected with Salesforce and do the project. Okay? That 4 days is for you to do the quiz and the project. So when we come back, we still remember what Salesforce is all about. Otherwise, I don't know what would happen in the next 4 days. Anyways, take care of yourself and have a good long weekend. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Babatope. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, Babatope. Bye.